that's James's dinner, and he's having a slushie. And that's our tomato harvest that I'm gonna weigh. We're gonna talk about these videos. So there's those. And
so that's not today's tomato harvest.
It's
that's over
no
3 days.
It really is, yeah. Because what happened is we got some rain.
Considerable
so we haven't,
amount of it.
Yeah. So we haven't been doing our dinner.
We call them deck dinners even when we're not on the deck.
We're not on the deck now. But you can see this one's a very bad case of blossom and rot. But
it starts with a blossom then?
There's still some edible even on this one. So James is going to have a little tiny bit of this tomato. I don't want to really cut. I could cut a little bit further, but I don't want to. So
oftentimes the rot spreads
into the perennial garden.
well beyond what looks rotten.
Yeah. So
taste.
Let's see. I'm going to put this on here, and so then I get the tear weight of this, and this is the same sort of container. So I'm just gonna, there we go. Wow, look at that, 2 pounds exactly.
On the button.
On the button. So
thunk.
That's what we got for, it's really not a huge score for the, like I said, it's a really almost 3 days or whatever.
It hasn't been a lot of sunshine.
Yeah.
I think tomatoes need quite a combination of heat, sunshine, and moisture.
But you can also put, do you want more tomatoes on your thing?
No, this is plenty.
So you may have noticed over here in this corner, these ones are the basil leaves, sweet basil, and over on this side, that's the oregano. And James said he didn't want chives, but he could have had some. There's some right behind me. But
I just didn't feel like washing that much. We've had a pretty busy day, a walk, and
because you'll have to eat this tomato soon because it's split.
Yep.
So if you want it now, you can have it. If you don't, that's fine too, but we'll have to eat it soon. So that's all about that. So we got that recorded, and
so the basil are the big leaves, oregano.
Yeah. So you might want to taste it. Like when I made the pizza, I thought, I don't think I put quite enough oregano for my taste, right? So that's why I picked some more for James. I don't know if he'll want it. Maybe he'll try it and go, oh, that's enough for me, or whatever.
Well, you're saying on most pizzas they have basil and oregano.
Yeah. All right.
I think you'd have to ask for garlic extra, wouldn't you?
No, it's in there.
It's in there. Well, garlic's, no wonder Italians have a healthy diet if they're eating garlic that much.
So while James is getting it fixed up like he likes, I'll tell you what I did. So I used naan rounds for the pizza crust, and then I put just a regular hummus on instead of a pizza sauce, and so that supplies the garlic to the taste of it, right? And then the regular stuff like basil and oregano and whatever, but mushrooms, green pepper, spinach, Italian cheese mix, and then the fresh tomatoes on it. And
looks really good, eh?
Mm-hmm. And then this how I made the slushie is, sometimes I get these when they're on clearance for $1.64, I think they are.
That's a supreme markdown, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise we wouldn't get them.
Otherwise we wouldn't. But so this is a cherry slushie. So what I did is I filled up the blender with frozen cherries. So normally to make a slushie you'd use ice cubes, but why? So the cherries are the sour cherries, Evans cherries, and that I pick and pit. And then those ones were frozen, so they're in the blender frozen. And then the juice just at the same level as the cherries, so it slides in between the cherries. And then about a teaspoon of ground chia seeds to kind of have it, full body.
A thicker consistency.
Yeah, and how would you rate that slushie?
This might be the best one so far.
Okay.
I think it's largely the sweetness from this.
So sweet.
I was saying, well, you don't really need the Tropicana, and
Yeah.
she said, oh, because of the sour cherries, you need it So I'm tasting a lot of this,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of good stuff in there. There's tons of cherries. How much did you say? Like you ordinarily put a cupful, but sometimes you put 2 cupfuls in, right?
I don't know. I think this time I put, because I was thinking, well, I don't know how much you're going to drink at once.
Yeah.
I put it. I think it was about 3 cups that
Okay.
ended up in the blender.
See,
So
I'm
3
not
cups of
tasting the
cherries,
sourness
and
at
then
all.
just it wasn't that much of the juice, maybe a cup or whatever,
Wow.
just enough to fill to the same level as the cherries, right? And then the chia seeds. So
That's fairly simple. I'm not saying simplistic, but a
Yeah.
simple recipe by comparison with some of
very
the ones
simple.
that you've proceeded this way.
Anyway, so you may have remembered that I reviewed Death in Paradise season 14 already, and as much as this may very well have been the best season of Death in Paradise, I still only rated it a 1 out of 5 on the library rating system. And I could have rated 0.5, and I thought, well, it is better than the other ones. They've added Sebastian, and that was a good thing. But now thinking of it, I really should put it back to 0.5 because
That's low marks, folks.
it's
That's like
so
F minus.
bad. They really, really do a bad job on this on this show. And I wanted to bring it out to compare. So, Mare of Easttown, this is a 5 out of 5. They did the job. This is the best police, I call these police dramas. Not really mysteries, but there's mystery there. It's a police drama. That's what it's mostly about.
Yep.
They solve crimes, so they're solving mysteries, but it's about the police. So, this one they got Kate Winslet to star in
I
it.
didn't recognize her when I saw her on the screen.
She did an awesome
Yeah.
job.
Ordinarily they play up the looks with her, but here she's looking like something like a real person.
But honestly, everybody in this was excellent. There was, maybe not, there's a child who's a Down syndrome child. She is not a good actress, but she was directed well. So I thought that was all right. She was a Down syndrome child in this, and she was directed well. So, whereas, honestly, the Down syndrome child actress in this, who was really not an actress, she's just a Down syndrome child, she was probably a better actor, whatever, than most of the people who regularly act in this show, or claim
Act
to.
up. Some of them don't even act up.
But yeah, everybody in this was great. So the casting department did an awesome job finding perfect people for the roles. The final scene in this series, it's episodes. It's just like this. I don't know. This was 417 minutes, and this one 570 minutes you get out of. So the final scene with Kate Winslet's character and her best friend. Wow. I hadn't really thought her best friend was doing an awesome job until that last scene. That was perfect. So I have no complaints. Nothing really to say to criticize this. They did such a perfect job. So honestly, anybody who's making police dramas now, and BBC, they love to make them. They make so many of these things. Are you not watching this? Because this is what you're competing with. The public, they're watching this. And honestly, I watch these back to back. I watch this and then I put this on and I'm like, holy cow. Yeah, they did the job on this. Story was excellent all the way through. I loved how they'd give me a little bit to, like, you'd see the bicycle being disposed of, right? And you were like, oh, I was thinking of that guy or whatever, right? So they're leading you in a wrong direction many times, but you're like, oh, this is too easy, right? This can't be it. And really, when it gets near the end, you think back to the beginning, what you were thinking at the beginning, and you're like, yeah, they were telling you how it was going to be all along, right? At the beginning, and that's how a mystery should be told, is you should be given everything you need to solve it, and really it just kind of sneaks up on you. And with the police, they're having to deal with things. They're getting led off into wrong directions. They have a lot of things they have to look at, and they're not given all the information really. And you can't, if you're a police officer, you can't go on gut instinct. There's a time when Kate Winslet's character, she's looking over at something, and you know that she's thinking of getting DNA off of it, right? But anyway, yeah. And you know what they say about... Anyway, I don't want to give anything away, so I don't want to really talk about this, because like I said, it's 5 out of 5. Just watch it. They did it perfectly. Anybody out there who is wanting to make a police drama, watch this to figure out how it's done. Perfect. So, I didn't really expect to think how much of this. I'm not into flamenco dancing or really Spanish culture at all, but this woman is terrific. So this is Puella Lunares who's doing the instruction on this, and she does a couple different things. It's gypsy tangos and farruca, and I guess I didn't know anything about either. The gypsy tangos, that's women do that, but the farruca was traditionally done by men, and now I guess women do it too, but oftentimes they dress as men when they do it. So they're two very different dances, and she does them both really well. And honestly, I don't know if I will try to dance along, because I don't.
No,
James, no.
I don't think it'd be good for your back.
Do things.
Well,
So,
when you have trouble with your back, it's not good to have your arms above your head, so you can see on the back.
Yeah, she does it all the time. So, anyway.
Nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with your back.
Yeah, I know. She's great, though. She's a great instructor. I loved listening to her. I think there was one point where she talked about, she said, I think it's called the hotchscotch, or something like, she said it wrong anyway. And it's, so she was comparing a dance move to hopscotch, and she didn't know quite what it was called. She got it a little bit wrong, and it was so cute.
Well, she does have kind of like a cute accent.
Oh, it's adorable.
It's probably politically incorrect to say that, but guess what? We've got an accent, you know? If someone thinks our accent's cute, I got no problem with it.
So, I don't really have anything bad to say about this. This is a good time. So I think, like she was talking about doing certain things for fitness and whatever, and yeah. Why not? Why not do this rather than some fitness workout routine? This is...
I think there'd be a lot more variety than that fitness routine that featured a lot of top-heavy women.
The MB.
That you figured
MB girl.
was for guys only, and guys, very sedentary guys, just into viewing, not so much into doing. Yeah.
So I was thinking, I was comparing the MB girls to, like I was saying that it'd be great to sit around and eat a bag of, like, we've been getting the free spicy potato chips a lot from the food bank here, because there's a big, huge, massive potato chip factory in town. And so there's a lot of new spicy varieties of potato chips, and they end up at the food bank, and awesome for us. They're a bit too spicy for me, but I was saying you sit around eating potato chips, watching the Envy Girls, and feel the burn, or whatever. Yeah, whatever. Rather than actually.
I think it's more looking at the burn.
Or that's hot. Anyway, but that's hot. Watching somebody who really knows how to dance like that, and if you have the physical ability to actually try to do these dances, she breaks it all down so that you can actually follow along, and
there's a lot more variety.
Yeah.
I think it'd be way healthier.
So, Mysteries of the Great Lakes, featuring the music of Gordon Lightfoot.
I think they only had the one song, right?
Yeah.
Jeez, that's a real letdown.
Yeah, I got this out because of that, because I thought,
she got it from me more than herself.
Because James likes Gordon Lightfoot.
I do.
So, this is only 44 minutes long, it says. And
man, oh man.
Right away, James was disappointed with how they mapped out, they showed how the Great Lakes were formed through receding glaciation. So do you want to talk about that? Like, they said it was from the water, formed by the water melted from the glaciers, and it's
the lakes were, the lakes were dug out by the glaciers. And then, if it was just water filled up from the glaciers, it'd be long gone by now. The water is constantly being replenished by stuff. It's amazing how small the drainage basin is, but you're getting so much snow or rain year-round that it's to realize how much water is coming through. It's incredible. Have a look at Niagara Falls. It's stunning how much water is pumped. Or listen to it.
But so I don't know how much is true about this, given that it started out poorly in that way. But it says today 25% of all Canadians and 10% of Americans, that'd be people in the United States, I suppose, live on the Great Lakes. So.
And
I could see that being true, though. There's a lot of people living in the Greater Toronto area and New York.
It's not so much New York, weirdly enough, but it would be like Detroit.
Okay.
Technically, it's not on the Great Lakes. Well, part of it is, maybe on Lake Erie, but it's like Cleveland, Toledo, Detroit, and then, hardly anything on Lake Huron, Canadian or American.
Weird.
But then you go over on the other, like Bay City, Michigan. Who's ever heard of that? But you go over, and Lake Superior, you've got Duluth, and a lot of people would never have heard of that. There's not much down there. But when you get on Lake Michigan, it's like Chicago. And it's like Milwaukee. And stuff like that. So that's why it's only 10%. With Canada, like Pauline pointed out, Toronto's huge. And you got Hamilton.
Yeah.
You don't have much else. You got Thunder Bay, which is over 100,000 people. Might be getting up to 200,000. But that's about it. It's mainly just Toronto and Kingston, a few places like that.
Well, by the cover, you might be thinking, oh, there's a guy scuba diving picture, and you're thinking, okay, well, he's going to look at a sunken ship or whatever. And they do mention one sunken ship in there.
What's that, the Edmund Fitzgerald? The one that Gordon Lightfoot sings about, the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Probably,
and that's probably why they use the song. But honestly, that's not the mystery. So the mystery in the Great Lakes that they're talking about is, this is an environmental film. So, which I wouldn't have gathered that by the cover or the back. It does.
Mysteries and environmentalism?
So, I think they probably should have had a different cover, maybe a different title, but and it's not really a mystery. They're basically, it's a documentary which says white people were bad and caused a bunch of pollution in the Great Lakes and destroyed a whole bunch of nature, like in particular the lake sturgeon. So they were saying the population of the lake sturgeon is 99% of them gone from the Great Lakes where they were, and now they're trying to bring them back. So, and they were showing the people that were trying to bring them back. Most of them looked native, so native people, good environmentalists trying to bring back the lake sturgeon. And honestly, I don't mind that message. To say, white people were responsible for destroying this or that or whatever. Well, you can't say white people. I mean, specific ones, you could say that if you pointed to specific ones, but many didn't. Many cared about the environment, but didn't have the power to do anything. And it's like James was talking to a woman today. We were at Elizabeth Hall Wetlands and James was talking to a woman who has noticed the water level going down. This year we've gotten a lot of rain. The water level's been high, or fairly high, in the Elizabeth Hall Wetlands, in the turtle pond.
By comparison with what we see.
But there's been years where it's been really dry, and to the point where many people are concerned about it, about the turtles being able to make it, right? And then this year she's noticed as well that the turtle population
seems to be down.
Yeah, and so there's some, people are concerned, and James and she was talking with James about the mowing around and why are they mowing? I mean, they've mown turtles in the past.
Preserve.
It's a nature reserve. Why are they mowing around the paths? It doesn't make sense. And they're doing it in other places too, and it's bothering us. It's bothering other people. What do we do about it?
We already figured out one problem: snakes.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 days after we figured out that would be a problem, we saw a snake that was all mangled up. I mean, it was different pieces. Obviously, by more.
But yeah, they were talking about. At one point, this was near the beginning, they're showing Niagara Falls and Niagara Basin and everything, and they're showing, they're talking about how they were making they had this giant drill bit. I didn't know they had drill bits that size, and they're drilling, I guess it's a pipeline or something. They're drilling something to divert water from Niagara Falls or something for some sort of power thing, or I don't know.
Well, Niagara Falls produces a huge amount of hydroelectricity, and this has been for decades, maybe 100 years.
Yeah.
So they divert tons of the water. I think it's probably on the American side down to they'd be like caverns and stuff.
Yeah, they do divert a lot on the American, but this was for on the Canadian side.
As well, there you go.
So they're diverting some. Anyway, and they were talking about, well, the population is predicted to grow and this and that, and more people, more pollution and whatever, right? But I guess they have managed to clean up the lakes a bit, pollution-wise. And anyway, these guys are trying to bring the sturgeon back. They're catching them in nets and milking the eggs and measuring them, the sturgeon stuff. And so the main guy, he was talking about how he remembers this one sturgeon he's known her for 20 years. He keeps seeing her coming back, and
they live for a long time.
Yeah, and she's already, like, he did I guess they can do a like cut a little bit of the fin, and they do a biopsy of the fin or something like that, and then they find out how old she is. I guess they have sort of like tree rings or whatever, but in the fin. Yeah, it's wild. So he was showing that, and so she's over 100 years old.
There you go, surgeon lady.
Yep. And she was a beauty, but they all are, aren't they?
They're big, aren't they? Like,
yep.
They're huge. Were they producing caviar? Or?
They were milking her. They weren't milking her to eat her. That would be terrible, right? Because they're trying to bring back the population of them. So, but they were milking her for eggs, and then I should have clearly explained what was happening. They milk her for eggs, and then and others too, probably, right? And then they put some mix some semen in the dish with the eggs, and then they, because I guess that has to be done really quickly, and then they raise the little guys inside. They have these little trailers set up where they're raising these little sturgeon, and they let them go when they're about that big. And I thought, well, I was looking at the one like net full that they put back in the water, and then another, and I was thinking that's like a mouthful for a stork or a pelican. But I guess you do what you can, right? And I would have liked this show more had they explained how much, like whether the population, since they've been doing this working on trying to raise the population, has the population went up? Have they seen the young sturgeons actually return to where their mothers,
spawned them or something?
Got rid of the eggs or whatever? Are they? Because that's what they do. They return to where they're born. Really, where they return to home to spawn. Yeah, and so are they doing that? And when they were talking about the water being diverted and everything like that, I mean, I think what they were trying to say is, since these water courses are changing, this might be confusing the sturgeon, and they might not be able to get back to where they're supposed to spawn or whatever. But they didn't clear that up, and they didn't tell me how many are the little ones coming back? How many have they seen coming back? They're tracking them, right?
I don't think I heard a number in the whole thing.
I want some numbers.
Were they giving dates?
So
I didn't hear a date at all.
Yeah, so that's disappointing.
Because otherwise you can't figure what's happening.
The camera works nice. You see some beautiful scenery in that, but it's a little bit lacking.
So they go down to the ocean, do they, like salmon?
No.
They stay within the lake system.
They go up like a river or whatever.
Okay, from the lake. Okay.
I don't know. They go back, like they try to find there's some really pretty places in there that I'd want to go back there too. Maybe they find it romantic. I don't know.
Anyway, I'd like to find out. I guess it mustn't have anything to do with the St. Lawrence Seaway, which is put in just after I was born or something like that.
No, I don't think it does. Anyway, you can watch the show and maybe you'll pick up a little more than I did. So, caveat, is that what you'd call that?
Yeah. It means beware.
Oh.
Caveat emptor means beware, buyer.
Oh, of course. Okay.
And what I always would like to do is not caveat seller. There's a Latin word for